Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Bengals franchise, Madden 2001, in our year 3 offseason. And I come to you today as a broken man, a broken executive. Just a heart-crushing way to lose the season, man. It's kind of like the Lions this year, you know what I mean? Like, had a great season, could have done a lot. Lost at a time they weren't really expected to win. But I guess the difference is we're the defending Super Bowl champs, so I guess you probably did expect us to win and go back at least. But hey, man, losing the AFC title game, that's just the way it goes, especially against the top seed in the AFC who won the Super Bowl. So I'm okay with that, man. I'm okay with all that. So our defense was really great this year. Our offense, not so much. Efficiency was a little bit better. We were good. We're pretty decent in the red zone, at least top half of the league. But just in terms of production on offense, we were really bad. So that's kind of the rub here, kind of how things work, how the team ended up being how it was. There's a lot of areas of weakness across the roster in terms of just production, not so much in terms of talent, because I think we have more than a good enough team to be as good as we were this year, but just in terms of production, we needed to see a little bit more. Achilles Smith, not really the best year for him. He did miss some time, as that's kind of laid out in his attempts. Of course, our backup got some time here, but not a great year for him. Corey Dillon has about the same season to expect from him. So I know it's funny in all of our recorded videos, we never see Corey Dillon do anything, but in the Sims, bro, he's a monster. He's absolutely crazy. Peter Warrick really split in time here with Chris Waller, so his numbers are really down too. But Willie Anderson, man, what a crazy year, bro. What a nuts year. Tony Mayberry has about the same year, but gives up a lot more sacks, so that's not great to see. Rod Jones, an amazing year. Our O-line in general just stood on their heads, man. Stood on their freaking heads. Adrian Ross was also a beast this year, career year for tackles, and probably TFLs as well, I would guess. Craig Newsome, also very disruptive in terms of tackles. Great year for him. Rondé Barber, one of our free agency pickups. Not a career year for him, but just still a high number of tackles. I like seeing those things. I don't know why I didn't sort by those results and those numbers here. But Dwayne Ilko, who was our rookie last year, this is his second season here. About the same season. He had a lot more sacks in his rookie year. Didn't really have that many, but he had 7 TFLs, which isn't bad. So I guess I'll go with it. John Green, again, not as great of a season as we thought. So it's funny. Corey Dillon does nothing in the games that we watch, but in the Sims, he's amazing. But then John Green, in the games that we watch, he's amazing. And in the Sims, he sucks. So, I don't know what to make of that, man. But Edgerrin James is your MVP, which is absolutely insane that he won that. I didn't look at his year. I probably should have. But who is this? Is this... He doesn't number himself. I don't know why, but take a look at all your rookies here now, all your other numbers here. Shanahan, of course, winning Coach of the Year, because why wouldn't he? Brett Favre wins Best QB. Interesting. Best running back, of course, Edgerrin James. Best receiver goes to Terry Glenn. And then Best O-line goes to Tony Baselli. I think we even had some guys in there, which is cool to see. We don't typically get a lot of nods in this area, which is kind of neat. So I like seeing that. And then Lamb, who missed a field goal here in the AFC Championship game, he gets himself best kicker honors. So I guess he was great for the Broncos all season long. He just kind of got tripped up in the AFC title game, man. He didn't have that ice in his veins when he needed it the most. So those are all the awards. I didn't even look through the Pro Bowl. Probably should have looked at the Pro Bowl, and I didn't. As you see, Achilles Smith got invited to a Pro Bowl, and I think we had maybe one or two others. I think we had a few, actually, this year, because we actually had some pretty decent contributors or performers. But this is the huge thing. Look at this. Stephen Davis has a career-ending injury, and he's done. That's it. He's just out. So he actually got really good, 93 overall, and he's done. His career's done. Also, Josh Cross, who's got 2 years of service. So I'm assuming this is a rookie that the Ravens drafted probably in the first year of the sim, and he's done. Vinny Testaverde also calls it quits. So those are really the big names here. I'm going to flip through, and obviously you'll see some names that you probably know from Rod Woodson. That's a big one. That's a big one to lose. So. But other than that, that's kind of the really big names here. We lose someone in retirement, but it's like a depth piece. It's something that we don't even use. So yeah, it's not a big blow to the team. So we're still retaining most of our vets and our old guys. We have some older guys, but nothing too serious. So here we get into re-signings here. Calvin Jackson, our strong safety, we're going to bring him back as an 81 overall, of course. Any O-lineman we're probably also going to bring back here because they had just great years. Matt Dwyer had a good year. So we definitely got to bring them back. Darrell Williams, our free safety, just got to keep the guys who are performing well, man. Just got to keep them on here. We've got over $30 million in cap space. We are not shy about money. Absolutely not. None of these guys are really asking us to break the bank, so we are okay with that. Neil Rackers is finally a free agent, so we're going to let that go. That mistake I had of rostering like 3 kickers, we're going to rectify that and let it go here. Rod Jones, 87 overall left tackle. Of course, you're coming back to the team, buddy. And Brian Simmons, bro, only wanted like 175. Like, he wanted little money, so he's definitely coming back to the team. There's a lot of guys you'll see me just re-sign because what they're asking for is just so low that it's like, dude, how am I not going to bring you back? This was a big one to look at here, Darnay Scott, and I'm going to take some time to talk about this as you guys watch me re-sign some of our other players here. But Darnay Scott's kind of an interesting case because he, I think technically roster-wise, is our second best receiver. I think he's 1 overall better than Chris Waller is, who was injured for most of the season, but because of how we use him formation-wise, he really wasn't involved much at all on our offense, which I guess is on me. I should have reshuffled him around and put him in more, I guess. I don't know. Like made him the third guy. I don't know. But he's looking for $3 million, like at least, and that's definitely not going to happen because we have the depth here between Peter Warrick and Chris Waller, and those guys are very affordable and under contract, so I don't really need someone like Darnay Scott that much. We did fine with just those 2 guys, and then depth pieces like Horn and Yeast, or Dugans, Ron Dugans more, were big contributors, so I have no problem letting go of guys like Darnay Scott, because we can absolutely replace guys like that for the kind of money that they're looking for. And I don't want to say pull the age card, but almost 10 years in the league here, we can probably get younger and we can definitely get faster. So there were some other big names that we also re-signed, like Takeo Spikes is also coming back here. I should have done in these, show you guys the guys who are coming up in the following season. Would have maybe made it a little more interesting from a commentary standpoint. Talk about guys who are in contract years, talk about if we're going to bring some guys back and whatnot. But, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And as you can see, Darnay Scott's one of the hot topics in terms of free agency here. But look at that, $3.15 million. Yeah, I mean, he's probably worth the money for a team that really needs help on receiver, but he's definitely not that guy for us. We're not that team. We don't need, like, a top-end receiver right now. We have that. So he would really just be a depth piece, if anything, or block Chris Waller. And I don't want either of those things to happen. So that's kind of why he kind of got the axe here. Top quarterback is Doug Flutie, though. So if you're looking for a quarterback, Doug Flutie, he's looking for $4.6 million. That's kind of crazy. Imagine breaking the bank for your franchise on Doug Flutie. That's the fun of Madden, bro. Anything can happen in this league. So we're going to throw some deals here at some depth pieces. That's really it. Last year we didn't really do a whole lot of active stuff in free agency just because there wasn't much to do. As I said in the last offseason video, I had the list of positions and players that we need and stuff, like the kind of stuff we need and what I thought we could get in the draft and stuff, and neither really work out how you want it to. There's not really a lot of free agents in the gaps that we need, and there's not a lot of rookies in the draft that we need, kind of looking at stuff. So I'm really just using free agency to kind of just add depth. We lost a lot of the depth pieces who were looking for a lot of money, so I'm trying to get a lot of cheap guys who are just going to kind of sit behind guys that we already have starting. There's not like a ton of big name starters that I'm looking to get from free agency. I think that ship has kind of sailed. The way that Madden 01 works in terms of progression and age, it's not going to happen. So, yeah, we're really just kind of looking at the depth pieces. So, looking forward now here as we shuffle through free agency, there's just not a lot of talent, bro, which is shocking. I feel like in the later Madden games, there's always at least some high-end free agents that you can always fight for, like always. But I guess in this game, everyone is just the CPU more specifically is just always conservative when it comes to their big time guys. They're just not willing to let them go, so which is fine by me. This Scott Curry center is interesting to me because he really doesn't want any money, and we can keep him on for a few years. And with Mayberry being our starting center and getting a little bit older, he's already a pretty old guy. This guy could potentially be someone that is like, he could be the future center, you know what I mean? Because I don't know if we'll be in a great position to draft one for sure, so that might be, you know, what we're looking at, which is interesting to think about. But there's a free agent class real quickly. I should have spent more time focused on it, but like I said, a lot of these guys are depth pieces. They're younger guys who might be able to sit on the team for a couple of years and maybe get an opportunity, but all guys well under, you know, like really cheap guys. So here now we are signing our draft class. Our top pick was another defensive tackle, because that's an area I think we need a lot of help on, is our D-line. I got some other big defensive pieces here. I kind of tried to grab the BPAs in all rounds. It's kind of a good draft class, I guess, considering the value of our pick here, because we probably picked, what, 28th or 27th? and I was able to get high 70s guys in most rounds, man. Just pick up a lot of guys at positions in need, too, like important positions. Yes, I drafted a punter because we didn't have a punter. So, and for some reason in the draft in this game, they just populated with kickers and punters. I don't know why. It's annoying, but they do. So I had to draft one because we didn't have one. So here's a look over at the depth chart now. Just kind of get a good feel for how things are. Jason Sharp has already been 89, which is crazy, man. A lot of rookies have been performing very well for us. So, I'm very happy about that our rookies are at least performing. As you look around the roster, there's still some areas you can see where we need help. Cook is really, you can see the defensive tackles why I drafted the way I did, because outside of Ilko, who is our biggest rookie from our first draft, it's kind of a steep fall off into the low 80s. So I'd like to get another big guy on the defensive line to create a lot of pressure up front along with Ilko, because Ilko wasn't as disruptive in his second year. He kind of had a sophomore slump in terms of sacks. So that's a number that we really need to get back up if we want to be as disruptive as we were in his rookie season in terms of getting to the quarterback. So we need pass rush, man. So the D-line has to get better. I tried drafting for that, drafting for some depth pieces because our defense is pretty good, and the roster just continues to get kind of better. The ratings get broken in terms of how the game functions, so you know, it'll say we're 99 overall, but that's not kind of how things look. But looking at the schedule, we start off with a road trip to Baltimore, then to Washington. Then we have the Broncos and Steelers and Titans at home before we meet the Jaguars in Jacksonville. Then the Eagles at home, the Browns on the road, the Ravens at home, and the Titans on the road before we get our bye week in Week 11. Opening with the Jags at home and the Cowboys on the road, the Browns at home, the Cardinals at home, and then we finish with the Patriots and Steelers on the road. So an interesting and fun kind of schedule, man. We get to play the Broncos, rematch them again in Week 3. I don't know if that's a game I focused or watched on. I think I still stuck to division games, but when we come back in year 4, man, we are going to get into this game with the Ravens, bounce around a bit, so hopefully we're shooting for more, maybe another Super Bowl, maybe put that on your expectations, man. But I hope to see you guys at the beginning of year 4, man. Get excited for it, because I know I am.